Hi, welcome back. I'm Coach Wendy Nolan. This is part 2 of my series on career branding. What I want to touch on today is the beginning of how to start creating that career brand. So the first thing that I recommend that my clients do is take a career inventory. Now, a career inventory is a comprehensive collection, if you will, of everything that you've achieved in your career to date. I caution you that this would not be the context for a resume. This is an internal document that you're going to use for your own personal reference, but it's a great way for you to compile in one place everything that you've achieved thus far in your career journey. This is going to be a comprehensive overview of, I'll tick off for you the items that I suggest that you think about. Number 1 are career achievements. So when I say career achievements, I mean tell me a true story, or tell yourself a true story about something that you did that was above and beyond the duties and responsibilities of your job description. So often when I'm working with folks, they really take for granted exactly what they've done and how they've contributed to the overall profitability and success of the organization. Frankly, they just undervalue what they've contributed. So when you're thinking about your career achievements, what I want you to do is focus on, again, those things that you've done above and beyond the duties and responsibilities. So for instance, when I'm writing a resume for a client, I have them tell me SAR Stories. SAR is an acronym, and there are many acronyms out there in the resume world, but I use SAR, which stands for Situation, Action, Result. Tell me a story, or in this case for you, write down a story that describes a situation or a problem or challenge that you were faced with during the job, the actions that you took to solve the problem or overcome the challenge, and then the results of those actions. It's really important that you tell the whole story all the way up to and including the most important part, which is the result. The reason that I have people tell me the whole story is because we think in a linear fashion. So we have to first start with that situation, that challenge, or that problem, and then go through the steps of telling the story about the actions that we took and then the results. So that's a great way for you to begin constructing your career inventory. I suggest that you create a Word document or maybe even an Excel spreadsheet, or if you prefer the old-fashioned note-taking, go ahead and buy yourself a notebook and write all this stuff down. It's really important that you save this information, and as your career progresses, you continue to add more stories to it. In addition to those career achievements and milestones, I want you to also track, let's see, what else? I'm going to look on my cheat sheet here. Okay, awards, special honors, and maybe recognition that you've received, whether it's work-related or even if it's civic-oriented, right? Maybe you have some awards around the nonprofit or volunteer work that you've done. Include all of that because it does contribute to your overall success in life, not just in your career. Next, I want you to list your relevant education and training. Now, the word relevant is really important here in the future, but right now, do include everything that you have, certifications, degrees, or some sort of background or history in completing training. If you didn't complete the training, but it is still relevant, then maybe I would go ahead and include it. Okay, next on my list is publications. Let's say you've contributed to an article that was published internally in your organization's magazine, or you're a small business owner and you've submitted article contributions that have been published on online magazines or even traditional hard copy magazines. Anywhere that your opinion, your expertise, your knowledge was quoted and made available to others to consume, I would include that as a part of your career inventory. Okay, next, speaking engagements. Whether you have been a presenter to small networking groups or Rotaries, chambers of commerce, or even as a paid speaker at large conferences and trade shows, make sure you have an inventory of that. As you become more sought after, you'll forget sometimes where you've spoken. But having a list of all of these, going as far back as you can recall, is really important to show progression. And as that expertise progresses, you can really focus on the ones that are the most important moving forward. In future videos, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But right now, I just want to focus on giving you bullet points on what you should include in that initial document called your career inventory. Okay, next we have testimonials and recommendations. This includes from subordinates, from colleagues and peers, as well as supervisors, and don't forget customers and vendors. Not only do you want to have recommendations and testimonials from internal members of an organization, but also from external members of the organization. Even if you had an excellent exchange with a competitor, sometimes it's great to have them provide you with some sort of a testimonial or a recommendation, or the willingness to be quoted. You can't quite overestimate how important someone else's words will impact your brand. So it's important to capture that. And then finally, if you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, or if you're considering moving into business for yourself, as you build your business, especially when you're just starting out, sometimes in exchange for free services, you can ask clients and customers to provide you with testimonials to help you build your credibility and expertise. And it's especially important to capture those true stories and case studies so that you can refer to them and share what has made others successful as a result of working with you. That's true whether you're an employee or if you're in business for yourself. Okay, folks, your homework is to go off and start creating your career inventory. This will take time, and I strongly suggest that you sit down and tackle this challenge in a few different settings, because as you get started, you're going to realize you've accomplished a lot. You have a lot to be proud of. And I always like to have clients do this so that they can really begin to see just how super they really are. Okay, rock stars, go start creating your career inventory and check back often for my next video on this career branding series. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.